The knee hug is great to get the glute activation and to stretch out that stride length, so as we start to run, that our stride actually can increase and be more fluid. Jessie's gonna start again with perfect posture. She's gonna always feel tall. It's a really great cue. Feel as tall as you can, and that'll help improve your posture. Same should go through when you run. Jessie will then go ahead and grab her knee and make sure that the toe always comes up with the knee. She's gonna give it a hug, and then she's gonna fire this back glute to feel even taller. That'll help with the small stabilizing muscles that actually work. Every time my foot hits the ground, the better I stabilize, the more efficient I run. Also, will help decrease that tightness we get in the IT bands and the low back. Okay, Jess, let's go again. Toe up, knee up, perfect posture. She hugs, squeezes, and goes through. She's got great balance. Some of us, we may struggle with it. The great thing about video on demand, hit pause, go ahead and practice a little bit, and then you can just go ahead and resume. We'll be waiting. That's our job.
It wasn't so easy in the beginning, believe me. So just keep trying at it.
It never is.
A couple more will be way better.
Our next one we call the world's greatest stretch. Forward lunge, formed instep. Jessie's gonna take a big step out. Let's go ahead and start with our right leg. She's gonna put this left hand down and support a lot of weight. Now Jessie's gonna straighten out this back leg, and then we're gonna take the elbow right down toward the instep. You probably won't make it there, she does. Then when you fire the back glute, you're gonna feel the stretch here. You're gonna feel the stretch in the front leg growing, and then right up to this glute and that low back. That's why we call it the world's greatest stretch. Jessie will then put the right hand outside the right foot, push the hips tall, and then pull the toe up. This is where you're really gonna feel it through the hamstring and the calf. So then go ahead and come back up with perfect posture, and we'll switch legs. Great job, Jessie.
All right.
You will feel why this is the world's greatest stretch. Support a lot of weight with the hand, the back leg straight, fire the glute. Now look at the nice stretch you're gonna get right through here, and then you can see this stretch that comes back. This is gonna help your stride length. Then Jessie's gonna put the hand on the outside, pushing the hips tall. Now look at that stretch right through the calf. You're gonna feel it really right up here in the high hamstring, and that's gonna help keep those tight hamstrings loosened up. You're gonna feel really fluid as you get out there and run. Good, and rest. Now we'll do that for the desired number of reps, anywhere between 4, and when you get really fit, all the way up to 8. Now, our last one is a walking quad hip flexor. We're gonna do this actually in place. That's the great thing about video on demand and sports school. We're gonna tailor it to our needs. Jessie, let's go ahead and stay right here. She's gonna hold perfect posture, and you've probably seen a stretch like this before. She's gonna feel nice and tall, but we're gonna do it standing up. Jessie's gonna bring the left leg up. Now the key part here is, you notice she keeps great posture. She's gonna take this glute, fire the glute, pushing the hip forward, feeling the stretch here. And then we'll switch legs. Now notice that Jessie really pushes tall out of this glute, and there she goes. Great balance. Again, hit pause if you need to work on your balance a little bit. Something that's gonna happen time and time again. Okay, Jess, let's go ahead and
do you like the arm up or the arm down when I do those exercises?
You know what? I find that whenever you use your other arm early on for balance, you may have it out to the side, you may have it up. Again, find what works for you. Go ahead and hit pause and experiment a little and find where you have the best balance. Okay, let's go ahead and try one more repetition of each. Again, this is gonna help get that quad and the hip flexor really loosened up, improve your stride length. Excellent. And that little push of Jessie going tall will help decrease the injury potential, because when she fires here, she stabilizes the hip better, and that will protect the IT band right on those low backs, which get kind of a little tight for some of us. Jessie, great job with those exercises.
Thank you.
Now let's get into the next part.
All right.
Running is always straight ahead, and we want to make sure that we can keep this hip cuff, all the muscles in and around this hip joint, really loose and flexible and activated. So Jessie, let's go ahead and start off with our leg cradle. Jessie's gonna start off by keeping her perfect posture, because we need to have that every time we go out to run. Even if you're just going out for a mile, I want you to always think about being nice and tall, stable through here. Jessie's gonna then pull the leg up to the front, then she's gonna try to bring this heel right up toward her belly button, and then we're gonna again push tall out of this down leg glute. Then we'll drop the leg down, we'll switch, and we'll go again. Good. Excellent. Jessie, let's go ahead and face the camera this time and do the same thing. Jessie's gonna again hold perfect posture, support her knee, support her ankle, and then pull the leg tall and also push tall, drop back down, and go. Now that small movement that she gets by pushing out of this glute, she's holding very good balance. Go ahead and hit pause if you need to work on this movement as well, because that's a little bit of that balance aspect that isn't easy, is it?
This is a tough one, and I'm surprised I even did it that well this time. So it's one where I just kind of keep the momentum going and get a couple of those in. It's a great stretch, but hard to keep that balance.
Excellent. Yeah. And that's why she's world class, and why we have the pause button so we can practice a little bit before we try it again. Our next exercise is going to be one of the more difficult ones, but you will love it. It's going to get all the glutes and right down to those IT bands that really get tight. So Jessie, let's go ahead and start off facing the camera. Jessie's going to turn her hips and rotate back, bring this back foot back, maybe about a foot or so. Then she's going to square up her hips and then sit the hips back and down. Now you're going to feel the stretch along the IT band and the glute, and then we're going to stand right back up. Now what really helps the amateur, we start to get into being able to hold on to something. Just grab the back of your couch or a chair. That'll support your weight, help your balance, get the movement pattern, and then come back up. Jess, let's go ahead and turn sideways now, and we'll get the other leg. Now watch Jessie, she's gonna turn the hips. Again, you can grab something out in front of you, square back up, and then she's gonna sit the hips back toward me. Now look at the great stretch she's getting right through here, and then she'll stand right back up. Now early on, you may just take a very small range of motion. One more time each side, Jess. Okay. And just you may start with a small range of motion. Feel the stretch by sitting the hips back and put your mind in the muscle on that glute. And then step right back up and go again. You'll really feel this one because all of us, when we run, we have a lot of stuff going on as this glute absorbs all the shock. So we want to make sure that it's loosened up and allowed to do that. Jessie, great job with the drop lunge. Last one we're going to do is going to focus now more in on the groin. Jessie's going to start with her feet hip width apart. Step a little wider than that now, and she's going to keep this leg straight, the foot flat on the ground, and then she's going to sit the hips back and down. Good. And notice that she's reaching forward. If you want to use the couch for that, that's great. She's going to make sure that this leg stays straight, then she's going to come right back up. Now normally on all these stretches, we're going to hold them for about a count and a half. Sometimes I have Jessie hold them a little longer, just because I like to make her world a little tougher because she's so good. Now go ahead and rock over to this side. Good. Now notice the key points. She's sitting back, great posture. The feet are flat and both toes are straight ahead. So that's really important to stretch the muscle right through here, and you'll feel a little more stretch right in through the glute. Jessie, let's go a couple more on each side.
Okay. One thing I remember, Mark, too, is that I just sitting back, almost like I was going to sit in a chair on this side of the leg. So I tend to come forward sometimes. So I really just need to think about extending really long and sitting back, just like I would sit in a chair to the right.
Good. Let's go ahead and take it to the left. It's a great point. And that's the type of thing you want to really get your mind and your muscle. This is where we're supposed to feel the stretch and on the inside of that straight leg. And this is what we call the lateral squat. Good. On all these exercises, we can do 1 to 2 sets of 4 to 8 repetitions. And this will make sure that we get everything in and around that hip cuff to stay really healthy so we can continue to go out and run, whether that's at lunchtime or whether you're preparing for the 5 or the 10K. None of us like to go out and run without warming up our hamstrings. So we're going to show you the most efficient way right here to do that. The first one we're going to do is going through hand walks. Shoulder stability, core stability, and stretch out those tight hamstrings and calves just like that. Jess, let's go ahead and start that. Now Jessie's going to start down on the ground. If you want to use the edge of a planter or the couch, you can do that as well. Jessie will walk the hands out. She's going to keep that tummy tight and keep those shoulders pushed away. The hands will stay by her shoulders. Then the legs will stay straight. And she's only going to walk up with her ankles. Only go as far as you can keep the legs straight. Next time you'll be able to go a little farther. Jessie, let's go ahead and turn around. We'll go one more time here. Okay, now in order to progress this, Jessie can take her hands up farther over her head. We'll put more stress right through her core. And every time she lifts a hand, she gets that rotary stability, just like when we run. Good, and then she's gonna ankle up, stretching the calves, the hamstrings. She's gonna go up on her fingertips, come a little higher, and you'll see that that's a great